Welcome. This is the photography guru here again, and today I want to take some time out to look at 3 ways in which we can convert our images from colour to black and white or monochrome. I'm going to keep these edits simple. We're not going to go too in depth with the tools available to us, but it will give you a good overview and starting point for creating your own black and white images. Firstly, we'll look at Camera Raw's black and white conversion. Next, we'll see how Photoshop handles black and white. And finally, the fabulous Silver Effex Pro 2. So we'll dive straight in here, and as I say, we're not going to do complicated edits or make these pictures finished in any way. I'm going to give you an overview of the tools available. So we'll start, as ever, with making a copy, and then if we go to Filter, Camera Raw filter, we're going to open Camera Raw, and here we have our image. Straight away then we'll go to black and white here in the top right, and there we've converted the image. Now, just as we would with any colour image, we can affect the appearance by altering the sliders. We can alter the blacks and the whites, and every detail in which we can alter a colour image we can affect here on a black and white image. The slight change you will see is this is now a black and white mix where we can pick particular channels, so we can darken the blues or lighten the blues. We could do the same with the aquas, which will also be in the sky, and there may be some greens and yellows in the trees there, so we can alter the image that way. We could maybe add a curves layer, brighten some of those shadows, pull the highlights down, or even make some localized edits. So we'll just pick this tree and alter its appearance however we see fit. Finally, we could add a small vignette. I'll turn the grid off. Just a gentle vignette. And there we are. So that's how Camera Raw handles colour to black and white or monochrome. And as you can see, by creating a copy layer, we have now an independent black and white layer. We can affect that further here in Photoshop as we would any image. Adjust the levels somewhat, whatever you wish to do. So how then do we affect images in Photoshop? Well, we can select a black and white adjustment layer. This could also be done by clicking here, the black and white there, or we could go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, Black and White, and pick there, in which case we could name the layer 2. And again, you'll see we have sliders as we did in Camera Raw. So picking up these sliders, we know there's going to be blue in there because of the sky. We can affect the image. If there's any reds, maybe in that lady's hat there's some red, and there'll be some cyans in there. We can affect the image that way. Maybe we can add a curves layer again. However we want to manipulate the image, we can. Of the 3 examples I'm showing you, this Photoshop way is possibly my least favourite. However, my preferred black and white conversion comes using Silver Effex Pro 2. Now this is a Nik Collection plugin available from Google. It is free. Go to Filter, down to Nik Collection, and pick Silver Effex Pro 2. Here we have the image, and once again I reiterate, this will be a very brief overview. On the left here we have some presets which you can pick to select the image you want, but we'll keep it neutral, and we'll have a quick look at the sliders and adjustments here on the right. They're quite self-explanatory, most of them. The brightness will affect globally the image brightness. And so we can pull that down a little, and then we might wish to push the midtones up, and the shadows, they could go up just a fraction too. Contrast globally affects the image contrast. So I'll just turn that a bit, and I definitely want to amplify the blacks in this just a fraction, and the structure, again a global adjustment there, but because of the sky and the clouds, I think the midtones again might push the structure up. It does something quite nice to the clouds. We also have here selective adjustments. Now if I select a control point, and I'm going to put that here where the sun is shining on the water, and just try and emphasize that a little. So this top slider is the size of the area I'm going to edit. It will spread out from this to blend nicely with the image so that any changes aren't obvious. If I click the brightness, you can see how that goes down. And again, we'll just push it up a little bit, and then I need to amplify the whites to get some more definition in there. And if we want to compare the changes we've made, we click and hold on compare. That's the original. This is what we have now. So you can see there's quite a difference from just a few minor alterations. There are other features in here which some people find extremely useful. I don't use them so much myself. We can pick various film types, so you can see how different films look on the image. We'll keep that as neutral. We, as always, can add a curves layer. I don't really want to affect this much more. I could possibly push the whites up a little and just bring the midtones down and the blacks to where they were. We can perform split toning with these sliders here. I'm not a fan of split toning, but if it's something you like, I suggest you play with these sliders. We can add vignettes, as you can see, and we can alter the strength of these, and we can burn edges. So I should just show you on one edge. We'll pick the left edge and give it a little bit of strength, and as we increase the size, it spreads across the image. There are also a selection of image borders which we can affect the size and spread of. So these are here, so we could say pick a black straight edge border, reduce the size, and if we had one of these rough borders here, we can increase the spread, how far that goes into the image, and just how rough or smooth we want that to be. So if we OK that now, the image is saved back here in Photoshop, and as you can see, has its own layer. So we can turn that off, or we can turn it on. The last thing I would say about black and white images is some images are made to be black and white as far as I'm concerned. If you've got strong contrast, quite often they'll be better in black and white. Other images, it's difficult to tell. This one I like as a black, I very much like as a black and white, but I also very much like it in colour. It's down to personal preference, and with anything else, as I always advocate, play with it. Photography and photography editing are an exploration. Enjoy it and see what images you can come up with. Well, as I say, this was always going to be a very brief overview of 3 ways to monochrome your images. I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you would like me to cover in future tutorials, please put something in the comments below. If you've liked it, then click like. If you haven't, don't touch anything, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. thank you for taking the time to join me.